Hi guys, and welcome to a video that I'm making as a guest on this channel that I've been asked to make. My name is 99Filmo, Joe Turrell. If you don't know who I am, I'm sure many of you don't know who I am. I've just been making film reviews and film discussion videos on YouTube for about a year and a half. Today one of my friends from this little collaboration we've got going on here, the Blu-ray brothers, Luke Ryan, Razor Reviews, he messaged me on Facebook and he was like, can you make a kind of a review video for the channel really quickly, just as a favour, because the person who was originally going to do it can't do it anymore. And so I was like, what can I talk about that's themed about westerns? Because westerns is a genre I'm really a very big fan of, actually. To pinhole one western film I want to review, want to talk about, is actually quite difficult. And I think, especially since he said the time limit was about 10 minutes. If you know my channel, you'll know that my reviews usually go on for about 20 minutes. So I just want to talk about something that I can talk about quite quickly and quite efficiently. I was thinking about which westerns do I want to talk about here, I think the subject I finally decided to talk about briefly in this video is one that isn't going to be so much of a review. I just want to kind of introduce these films in a way, because while I'm sure many of you will have heard of these films, I still think many of them in this kind of series that I'm going to talk about are hugely underappreciated B Western films, they're part of a cycle called the Ranown cycle. And the Ranown cycle that I'm going to talk about here is basically a partnership that happened between a director called Bud Bettaker and an actor who was also executive producer on all the films called Randolph Scott. And basically throughout the years of maybe, I'm saying 1956 to about 1960, they made kind of 7 features, 7 very short, very concise B-movie westerns made on a very low budget, often with same actors, same locations, very similar plot lines, very similar characters, and all this. And basically what they did, they made these films, and they seem to have almost become, I'm not sure if this is the right word to use, but they've almost become lost in time. They've become lost in the annals of film history, and this little collaboration that went on between Scott and Bettaker right at the end of both of their careers, really, now seems somewhat forgotten. And it's one I really want to talk about, because I think these 7 westerns that they made, although I've only actually seen 5 of them, so I can't talk properly about all of them, I think 4 out of the 5 ones that I've seen are actually very significant westerns in the history of Hollywood cinema, and they're absolutely fascinating films, considering their budget and considering the circumstances under which they're made, and comparing them with other westerns that are very much genre pictures of the time. They're absolutely fascinating for many key reasons. If you don't know who Bud Bettaker is, he was basically a guy who throughout his whole film career was a B-movie filmmaker. He started off making films about bullfighting. He's got a fantastic film starring Robert Stack called The Bullfighter and the Lady. He was quite well established in the kind of the B-movie industry when he made the first film in this Renown cycle, which was starring Randolph Scott, and that's 7 Men from Now. And 7 Men from Now is probably still regarded as being the most famous and best from the whole kind of 7 film series. This Bud Bettaker was a guy who, as I say, throughout his film career, never really had access to big budgets, never really had access to huge sets and great casts or anything. But he's a guy who operated mainly on a few key principles, and those are the things I want to quickly very quickly skim over throughout this video. And I think these are the films which make these little, often just 70-minute films or something, and these are very quick, very snappy, no holding back kind of films in their tone and in their pace. But he's got this undeniably strong knack as a director to create incredible atmosphere, incredible tension between characters, incredibly fascinating characters, with such simple stories and such restricted limitations, really. You look at these films, they're very clearly B movies. They're all filmed on location, basically, and the sets are very minimal, and often there isn't, the screen is very sparse, and through the kind of the restricted sets, the restricted access that Bettaker had, he was able to create these incredibly taut, incredibly tight, almost theatrical-like studies of morality and studies of good and bad and evil, the kind of motivations behind evil, the justice behind evil, and these kind of things. And what's so fascinating about the finest films in the Renown cycle, which I believe are Comanche Station, The Tall Tea, Ride Lonesome, and Seven Men From Now, what's so fantastic about these films is that what Betaker basically does, every single character in the films, they're all human beings. You know, what you so often find in these kind of films, and especially the kind of the B-movie westerns of Hollywood and this kind of time period, pretty much every character is a caricature. You know, they're not. They don't seem to be, you know, real human beings, and while sometimes that's really fun, and that adds a certain kind of nostalgic element to the film, what Betaker does here very interestingly is that every single character in all of these films that I've seen, and as I said, especially those four finest ones, Comanche Station, Seven Men From Now, Ride Lonesome, and The Tall Tea, what he does, he creates characters who have a past. He creates characters who, you know, have reasons for all of their doings. And even the evil characters, the seemingly evil characters, in all of Betaker's films, at some time we're brought to sympathise with them because we maybe see motives in their actions. And you know, he's able to create this incredibly taut, incredibly tight, suspenseful, brilliant drama through, you know, such minimal locations, such minimal resources, and you know, is able to exert such brilliant performances from his actors. You know, I've always really liked Randolph Scott, and all of his performances. Again, they're very similar in all of the films, and they all have a very certain charm to them. Some of the films are more comedic than others. You know, especially Buchanan Rise Alone is far more comedic than, say, Comanche Station. I mean, I think many of them are actually quite melancholic and moody in tone. But all of them share this one key theme that I've just talked about, of being fascinating studies of morality, of America as a nation, the American community, the American spirit and person. You know, against the backdrop of such restricted budget and all these kind of things, and sets, and time and stuff like this. Within the constraints of all that, Betaker is able to make these incredibly rich, incredibly actually profound films that, you know, I think are hugely underrated westerns. And I just want to talked about them very quickly there. I mean, I'm sure I've really haven't touched at all on the points that I would like to make, but that's a very quick summary of a small series of films made in the late 50s that I really think are quite remarkable, actually, for the time period they're made, for the restrictions, the budget that they were made under. They're really superb films that certainly stand out really alongside John Ford's westerns, I think, as being some of the most significant westerns of the Hollywood era. And they're really fantastic pieces of work that I really hope you do get to kind of check out. So thank you for watching this video. Please check out my reviews on my channel. I'd just quite quick like to say thank you for having me on the channel. I'm sorry if I've disappointed you with a poor video, but anyway, yeah, thank you for watching this review. Video. Please check out my reviews on my channel. Thank you. Bye.